How's it going, everybody? Super pumped to see you guys are back for another episode of But First Coffee. This is episode number 14. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Reed, and this is my But First Coffee series, self-help Q&A, where I help you with life lessons, advice, and everything else in between. So we're going to kick this episode off. We've got 3 questions today. Probably going to go a little in depth into all 3 of them. Might be a little lengthy, but bear with me. There's going to be some great content coming your way. All right, so the very first question we're going to tackle is going to be a question about the gym and lifting. For those of you who don't know, I am a personal trainer, so I have some great knowledge on lifting, working out, losing weight, dieting, all that kind of stuff. So if you have any kind of personal questions about physical training, working out, health, or whatever it is, please send them my way. I'd be more than happy to help you. So, question number 1. I'm currently in the process of getting stronger in the gym. My friends all lift more than I do, and I'm very frustrated with the progress. Any advice? So I'm going to take this question in 2 different ways. The first one's going to be the physical aspect of it. So in terms of working out, your body responds to stimulus very quickly, and it adapts quickly. As human beings, you need to survive. And in order to do so, your body's going to adapt very quickly to whatever stimulus comes its way. So in terms of working out, make sure you're changing out how you're training. Changing the tempo at which you're doing exercise, either the top portion, the bottom portion, in between, whatever it is. Changing the amount of sets you're doing, the amount of reps, obviously the weight, supersets, drop sets, all those things. There's a lot of different information, but changing the way you work out is going to be the biggest thing. You have to, what's called, shock the body, which means puts it through a different kind of training methodology in order to produce a better result. Because like I said, when you get consistent with what you're doing, your body's going to adapt and you're going to lose out on the amount of strength and muscle that you can gain. The second thing you kind of need to look at is the diet. Are you eating properly? Are you eating consistently? What's your carb intake like? What's your protein intake like? If you're trying to gain weight, you need to make sure you're eating on a caloric surplus, and so on and so forth. If you don't have the correct fuel in your body, you're not going to be able to produce great results within the gym. So that's my advice on the physical aspect of it. In terms of the mental aspect, it's never good to compare yourself to your friends and other people. Yes, you want to, be like them, or you want to gain results like they are, but the reality is that you're a different person between they are. You're going to have certain skills that are going to help you within the gym. They're going to have certain skills and traits that are going to help them within the gym. And you guys are 2 different individuals, and you got to realize that. If you were to take a fish and a squirrel and tell them both, all right, we're going to have a competition on who can hold their breath the longest, the fish will win every time. If you tell the squirrel and the fish, hey, we're going to have a competition who can climb up to the tree the fastest, the squirrel will win, okay? They're both going to have skills that are going to help them in life, and you're going to have your own skills, okay? You just got to find out what those skills are and use them to your advantage. Don't get down on yourself when someone else is doing something better than you, and so forth, so on and so forth. Comparing yourself to someone else is never a good idea. It lowers your self-esteem, and it's not going to produce results for you. Use it to your advantage, though, okay? If you're feeling a little down and out about the situation, use it to your advantage. Get motivated, start creating new action, and keep on changing your approach. You're going to get there over time. Make it fun. Work out with that person, make it a little competitive, but work together, okay? You'll definitely start to find results within the gym if you take the approach like that. All right, so the second question in today's video is, I tend to get into a negative mindset that isn't always healthy. What are some ways to snap out of it and change the way I'm thinking? So I definitely feel like we all go through this on a daily basis all the time. We are naturally going to see the negative side of things probably before we see the positive side of things. Unless you have a really strong, compelling vision for your life, you might be an optimistic person and see the positives. So the biggest thing you have to understand is that we all have beliefs, morals, and ideas and visions that drive our everyday actions, thoughts, what we say, our emotions, and so on and so forth. The reason why you're having these negative thoughts is you have some kind of story or vision at yourself that you keep on telling yourself over and over again. And what happens is when you get in that state of habitually, thinking negatively or having a negative outlook on things, it's going to really affect you on a consistent basis. And the thing is, we have to figure out, how do we get out of that? So one of the biggest things that are going to help you is figure out what that negative story is. Once you figure out what that negative story is, you're then going to be able to start to move out of that and create a better situation for yourself. How do you do that? Well, you got to ask better questions. When you ask better questions, you get better answers. So you got to figure out, why do I have these thoughts? Why do I have these ideas? Where did this come from? Did this originate from my past? Figure out, dig deep down. Why is this going on? After that, you're gonna have to create a better, compelling vision for yourself. You're gonna have to completely change that negative thought into a positive thought. And it's gonna take some time, it's gonna take a lot of effort. But once you start taking that negative thought and changing it and cultivating it into a better, positive outlook on life, changing your perception and how you view things, you're going to be able to start moving on that process. After you start telling yourself a better story, a compelling story, something that's more positive, start to reinforce it by doing things that are going to help support that. All right, so the third and last question of today's episode. I'm currently about to graduate high school, and I feel like my parents don't understand me at times. They try to give me advice, but they fail to see my side. What's your advice? So this is definitely a situation that I've been in, and I firmly believe that just about every teenager or young adult has been through with their parents or whoever their guardian is. And I think it's very challenging. I think the biggest thing is you have to realize that both sides are going to have different viewpoints, different experiences, and that's probably the biggest reason why there's conflict. They have a different viewpoint and experience in life and approach to life than you do. Because you're not as well experienced in life as a whole, you're going to have a different viewpoint, and that is okay. That is okay. I think the biggest thing is you got to figure out a balance. You got to be able to approach a situation in a respectful manner and try to hear them out. Be open-minded. Drop that ego, okay? Ego is a huge thing when you're young, okay? You got to be able to drop that ego and try to be open-minded. They're going to be able to give you something valuable that you're going to be able to take away from the situation, all right? They've been through things that you haven't been through in life. You got to be able to try to be open-minded and just take it for value, okay? In terms of their side, they're going to have to see that you're unique, you're your own person, you're going to want to do things that you're going to want to do. And though that is, the right way to look at it, they may not see that way. And you can't control that, okay? You can only control what you can control. So I think the biggest thing, like I said, is try to be open-minded, drop that ego, and try to listen to what they're telling you and try to figure out, what's going on. I think at the end of the day, what's really important is you don't want to ruin this relationship over whatever conflict or misunderstanding that you're having. That's the last thing you want to do, and it's going to definitely affect you for the rest of your life if that happens. So try to come at it at a very respectful level. Try to voice your opinion, very calm manner. Try to communicate, okay? Communicate. This isn't an argument. Don't argue. When you argue, people are disagreeing and they're not getting anywhere. Communicate. It's okay to have a disagreement, but you've got to be able to communicate thoroughly in order to get through it. So that concludes this episode of But First Coffee. Like I said, I'm very happy that you guys were able to make it. For those of you who haven't subscribed yet, please hit subscribe below. I'm producing videos out every week on advice, motivation, inspiration, life lessons, the whole 9 yards. Things are going to help you. I promise you. You're going to be able to take some kind of value out of every video, something. So if you like this video, please hit like at the bottom. And guys, as always, I'll see you guys in the next. But first, coffee.